What's going on, everybody? So yeah, let's get the bat over with to start this video. So the Chargers did lose on Monday night to the Ravens. 30-23 was the final score. It wasn't ever really that close. I think the Ravens ended up getting to 30 pretty easily, either like right before the end of the third quarter or in the beginning of the fourth. And yeah, the Chargers did make a little bit of a comeback towards the end, but it really wasn't enough because they obviously did not even get the onside kick. Usually nobody does in the NFL, but yeah, either way, it's a tough loss. I know they've beaten up some pretty bad teams, which is why they gotten up to that record, and I told you I wasn't going to be surprised because usually when you're picking in the top 5 in the draft, you get a little bit of an easier schedule, so at least this year they look like they're able to beat up those bad teams, but it's just losing still to some of the better ones like Kansas City, Pittsburgh at the time, who didn't look as good, but now they look like they're pretty formidable, and now the Ravens, and I forget who else they lost to, but I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I even forget. They might get Denver this weekend, or this week. I could be wrong. Could be somebody else, but either way, hoping for the best. Might be Jacksonville. I don't know. I don't really care right now. It's going to be a pretty busy weekend with family anyways, and before leading up to that week too, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I'll be able to catch the game at some point, but yeah, looking forward to hopefully them getting back on the win streak. And then yeah, the Duke basketball team did end up playing against, I think there was like number 1 Kansas or number 2 Kansas. They're just pretty much top 5 overall, but yeah, they ended up losing that game 75-72. They were a little bit closer, had the lead a little bit later with it like 5 minutes to go. But once again, turnovers and bad decision making late in the game kind of led to the downfall. I know they had a chance. Concanupo almost hit a 3. It just went in and out and off the backboard too. Did everything but go inside. So they had a chance to tie it, at least go into overtime, but they weren't able to get it done. Obviously, they've playing the games against the toughest team so far. Kentucky, they kind of got blown out in that game. Ended up losing the game against, Arizona on the road. They got that victory, a close one. So they're at least 1-1 until this game. Now they're 1-2, and I believe they have Auburn still to come up, who's been a pretty good, solid top 25 team. So we'll see how they do. If they go 2-2, that's fine. Clean up the rest of their schedule, which should be easy, including North Carolina later in the year, then they should be fine when it comes to seeding and all that stuff. They definitely have challenged themselves. I know people are getting upset with John Shire, the head coach, but it's like it's his second year. It's going to be fine. He's trying to trust, his greatest player on the team in a 17-year-old, which is always tough. But yeah, hopefully Cooper Flag gets a little bit better. Hopefully some of the older guys like a Tyrese Proctor steps up. I know Caleb Foster's pretty down, even though everybody was expecting a big sophomore jump for him, but kind of look like a sophomore slump right now, so hopefully they will be able to turn it around. Alrighty, back to more of the positive stuff. So the Chargers did claim a safety in Marcus May off of waivers, and they placed their cornerback Eli Apple on injured reserve, so looks like he's going to be out for a bit, but Marcus May was a pretty good name a couple of years ago. I don't know if he is right now the reason why the Dolphins released him, but he was available. Chargers picked him up, and that's been working out pretty good for them so far. So hopefully he will be able to contribute to that defensive backs room. And then the Lakers, they ended up playing against the San Antonio Spurs. Again, got that victory 119-101. LeBron had another triple-double with 16 points, 10 rebounds, and 11 assists. They were a bit on a losing streak. I know they had lost to like Denver. I forget another team that was in there. Maybe the Phoenix Suns. They lost that. And that was one of those NBA Cup games too. So, I don't know. I kind of prefer them not to get into that tournament of the NBA Cup because that's a couple less games for them. Or at least one less game for them to play because that kind of really messed them up last year. So, yeah, at least they're now got on a win streak. It's only one, but hopefully they will be able to build on that also. So Duke football did get a couple more commitments as of late. They did add a couple offensive linemen, one interior 3-star that was 6'4", 290, and another interior offensive lineman who's 6'2 and a half, 275. He's a 4-star. 3-star was Daniel Boyd. The 4-star is Sean Stover. And they also added a free safety in the 2025 class, and Andrew Peliciata. I know I'm saying that incorrectly, but I think he was going to be committing to one of those like Navy or military schools, but it looks like he had decommitted, and Duke is giving him a shot. So we'll see how he does. Only like 5'11", but he looks like a pretty solid dude already. So hopefully we'll be able to contribute early once he plays for that Duke football team. And for what he did last week, Duke freshman Cooper Flagg was named the ACC Player of the Week and the Rookie of the Week. It's the first time since an ACC player was named to both since Vernon Carey did it, Jr. He's an ex-Duke player as well. He did it back in 2020. So yeah, that's some pretty good company. Obviously, Carey Jr. should have stayed at Duke for another season or two, but went early. I don't know if he got drafted or got drafted late, but hasn't really been a solid professional career for him. But we all make mistakes. But yeah, that 1 week he had back in 2020 was pretty. I think that's probably why he ended up getting a shot in the NBA in the first place. But yeah, good luck to Flagg for the rest of the season. It's looking good so far. And the Duke women's basketball team, I think they're in Vegas or somewhere in the desert. They ended up beating number 9 Kansas State 73-62. One of their players, Ashlyn Jackson, had 30 points in that game, which is pretty awesome. So yeah, congrats to her. Definitely been on a nice win streak so far for them, and I believe they had another game as well against Oklahoma, and they were able to beat them 109-99 in overtime. And Reagan Richardson stepped up with 35 points and 7 assists in that game. So I think it was like a small mini tournament, whatever it was, and they were able to capture that little tournament trophy and victories on the road too. So congrats to those ladies, and I believe also their freshman was an ACC Rookie of the Week, Toby Fournier, as well. So yeah, congrats to her and congrats to them, and hopefully it's some good momentum heading into ACC play coming up before you know it. And of course, I've only been following the Duke women's soccer team as of late because they're the number 1 seed, so they obviously had a great season, but they probably have some good history because it looks like this is the most points they scored in a season since 2012 with 212 points, and they had the most assists in this season since 2012 with 78. But yeah, the 2 other years on there are 2012 and 2004 for both of those. So yeah, those were probably some pretty good productive years for them as well. Like I said, goes in about every 6 to 8 years for that women's team. Hopefully that's not the case after this turnaround. Hopefully they will be able to keep it going after this with some more better recruits coming in future classes. But yeah, so far looking good. Got a game this Friday. I think it's against Virginia Tech, so another ACC foe. So hopefully they will be able to get that victory in the Elite 8, as I'm calling it, and then see who they get in the Final Four heading into, hopefully, championship game against USC. So yes, thanks for watching, people. Like and subscribe. Comment down below. Let me know what y'all think. Have a great rest of your day. Let's go, Duke.